Welcome back, everybody, here to the 6th eSports World Championship live in Baku. I'm Toby1, and I'm joined by DOTA2.
Good evening.
Good evening. It could be our last game of the night. It could be our last game of the night. So far, Team Romania looking insanely strong. Can they keep it up, though? That's the question. I don't know if they can.
I think it all comes down to the draft, really. These teams look decently balanced. I mean, the Russians, they failed a little bit in their execution of team fights earlier. Clockwork played out of his mind. He had an absolutely amazing game. His positioning was great. Diogo got great multicasts. The Death Prophet did her job with the exorcism. But, I don't know, Team Romania slightly had the edge with the fact they had Nature's Prophet, Spirit Breaker, just to catch people out across the map.
Well, I'm also looking forward to seeing how this draft's going to go. Currently, we're getting mood music in our ears, so I'm hoping production team is currently listening to that and going to turn it off in our ears so we can focus on our draft. If I can wave at them. Hi, production team. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. Hi. Welcome back. We can now focus.
Meepo first ban.
Meepo first ban. Naga being removed. Like him this time will be removed against Team Russia and the Faceless Void, which was banned out before by Zizou. First pick, Jakiro. Straight from the get-go. Such a great presence in every single lane. We've talked about it time and time again. Viper and Ogre-Magi. Ogre-Magi, fantastic stunner. But at the same time, if you're tanky enough, it doesn't really matter. And then Viper, very, very difficult to kill.
Yeah, and what do you go as Team Romania here? We saw TA picked up by Weha. I've only seen him play 2 heroes this tournament, Meepo and TA.
Bring on the push strat.
Yeah. Does he play Death Prophet? Because that's still in the pool. It might be what they're thinking of right now.
With a Death Prophet wouldn't be bad, but at the same time, I wouldn't really favor it in the lane straight away. I prefer to see something a little bit more active from the start. I prefer to actually see more like a Skywrath Mage or something like that. Just completely lane control. And maybe, okay, they just say, screw it. We'll go the Death Prophet. We go for the push.
It's there. We'll take it.
Yeah. Exorcism as well as Liquid Fire. Now Team Russia are almost forced to ban out against the push heroes, which could combine with this. It might force them to ban a Nature's Prophet, which was used quite effectively in the last game. But then again, if Team Romania want to get really greedy, they can just pick up Luna and Enigma, heroes like that. They can force out the lane, and then that buys space for the Death Prophet to then push by itself. And then your off-laner just has to be a hero that survives.
Yeah, I agree. Team Russia, like you see there, really afraid of Nature's Prophet and heroes like that can cross the map and help out Death Prophet when she's near towers. I think it's going to come down to Team Russia defending tier 1s with their lives.
Well, maybe some counter-push heroes would be a bit better if they can do it from range. Something like a Rubik, for example, would be really nice. Just an easy Fate Bolt, nice little controller. Maybe not the greatest abilities in the world to currently steal from Team Romania, and maybe not the best synergy with Ogre-Magi either, but if they go in for something like a Vengeful Spirit, you get 1 Liquid Fire and that Vengeful Spirit drops to at least 2/3 of her life points. And that will be where my concern will come up by having such a hero. I'd actually almost want to see Team Romania go with that. Would you believe it's Sand King again?
Yeah.
Not always the perfect synergy with the Jakiro, but it functions.
It can work really nicely. It slows people down. It causes havoc in team fights, which works really well with Exorcism. But the Burrow Strike, if you can land it on 2, 3, however many heroes, sets up Jakiro for that Ice Path, which he so desperately needs.
Unless he just farms forever and picks up a Yule Scepter as a core hero.
It did take him a while last game, though. He had an excellent early 5-6 minutes, but then when he moved off lanes, he does suffer when it comes to farm.
It was when the tier 1 tower went down. The tier 1 tower drops, and then he's just got no space to farm because he's got no protection. His support heroes left him, and he's waiting for the creep wave to arrive at the tower.
Clockwork opens up the angle, gets the hook shot, and he had no chance. Yeah,
that moment there also had to stick in his mind. It's okay, well, the Clockwork could just do that to me. And it only took half a second of him dropping his guard, and he didn't see where the Clockwork moved. I think that had to be it. His eyes were just elsewhere. Team Russia's got such a great burst lineup. But they're still going to get through so much life points. Even though they're intelligence heroes, the Death Prophet's very hard to kill primarily because of the item she's capable of picking up. But the Jakiro is really difficult to kill because of the real big strength gain on Jakiro. Like, that's what made Jakiro such a great support hero, is the fact that you can have the life points of a semi-carry, you can have the pushing power of most heroes, and it's direct damage into the tower, and you can't get killed while you're doing it unless you commit a large amount of abilities to it.
Yeah, very good in choke points as well. Can play in the open-ended team fights if you've got a setup with the Ice Path Macropire. We'll see what they take as their third. I'm still wondering, though, do they switch up roles? Because we've seen that when they pick up Meepo, Weeha goes on the safe lane, and they send someone else mid. I can't remember who it was. Whether or not Death Prophet gets played by that player, and they give Weeha something else.
I'll be down with Invoker being picked up in this game early on.
I was thinking that as well, because I agree with what you were saying. I want him to be playing the more active hero. I want him moving around the map after farming for 7 to 10 minutes, get the first item, but then go and kill people. That just seems like what he is really adept at doing. Finding openings, finding the gaps in their armor, and just taking down single heroes one after one. Yeah.
The perfect build as well. I don't know if he really wants to go this as Invoker, but going for the old classic kind of build with the Hunter, going for the Orchid. Because if he can get that early pick off on the Skywrath Mage, the VS can take care of the Ogre Magi. And you've got another silence coming out from the Death Prophet. You don't always just have to go into Necro units, even though that would also be very effective up against both Ogre and Skywrath Mage. The best and only way to watch Dota 2. Legs up, boys. Team Russia, their fourth pickup, we'll see what they want to try and combine it with. We're looking at a core now, and this actually helps out Team Romania as well, because they could still run that Jakiro as a core. There's no reason why you couldn't actually run VS Jakiro +1 up on that top lane. I know it was up against an Ogre and a Skywrath Mage, but when you run a core Jakiro, you're really open for dishing out a lot more damage.
Yeah, it's a difficult pick. Viper is still open to go into a multitude of lanes. I don't see the aggressive tri-lane working with Ogre and Skywrath, so it's going to be probably safe lane, tri-lane, or Viper goes towards the mid is the most natural place for him to be up against the Death Prophet. But do they go greedy here?
Well, actually, if you want to switch this up and you want to have like a safe lane Death Prophet, I think if the Razor wasn't banned out, I would have liked this a hell of a lot more. And it's a Templar Assassin. So they're actually going to push the Viper into the safe lane and the Templar Assassin to go in towards the mid lane. And that leaves for a roaming Skywrath and Ogre. They both don't need to be on that lane on the top. But this now makes Team Romania, you have to question, if this is a Viper, Skywrath, Ogre safe lane, it's very difficult to kill. Aggressive trial lane kind of goes out the window here, and you need to drag it back. I'd almost want to say that Jakiro should be playing a safe lane, an off lane by himself, push the VS down towards the bottom lane, and actually go back to what I was talking about before, which is like the Luna and the Enigma together is really good control. You've already got your attack against the Templar Assassin in towards the mid game, and then you actually add power to push, because Team Russia still don't have good counter push. It doesn't exist here.
Something they really are struggling with. They've got plenty of single target, though.
Oh, yeah. But single target, you've only got one stun. You got Ogre Magi. That's it. That's why I want to flag the Enigma even higher right now. Because if you take out that Ogre, you can get full channel duration ultimates off. And they actually go for the Earthshaker instead. So it is going to be a core Jakiro with the Earthshaker VS.
Supporting someone on the safe lane.
The problem is they're picking up the Earthshaker when they don't know who Team Russia is running on their off lane. Unless it's meant to be a Viper Skywrath Ogre.
No,
you can't do that.
I was considering that, but it's just really not viable.
It's a low percentage chance of winning, more than anything else. Because it just means you have to stand and fight. There's no falling back against that kind of lineup. Because if it's a Jakiro Earthshaker VS, the initial burst damage isn't as great, but the control is there. And once the Earthshaker Fissure drops, they can slowly chip away at your life points.
Do they go for the Medusa?
You know what I actually would like to see? I like to see a Jakiro going up against the Templar Assassin.
Oh, that's something I've not seen in a long while.
It was an old counter that Dendy did.
Yeah.
Primarily because the Liquid Fire just burns through the refraction charges.
I mean, we've seen Venomancer go up against TA, but yeah, the old Jakiro against TA.
And then you could pick something else for the off lane. Because Jakiro versus Viper, it's kind of okay, but with a Skywrath and Ogre interfering in that, it's a lot more complicated.
So then you've got DP safe lane, Venge ES, stacking the jungle, roaming towards mid to kill the TA.
Yep.
Just one Fissure and it's done. Get the experience from that, go back to the safe lane.
Well, ban out the Bat Riders. They remove an easy initiator and a nice off-laner. But they didn't even have to do that, really, because, like guys, it must just be because of the lane presence, because you got VS Swap, you got Earthshaker Fissure. There's more than enough controlling abilities to hold on to that Batrider. But Russia, they got a little bit more time to choose, but they got one final core to do it. And this will then, like, it's their off laner. Either it's going to flag an aggro tri-lane, or it's their off laner.
Look, it's the kitty cat.
Sad whiskers. One's missing from the right side as well. Like, some kids just come in there with little scissors, just like, oh, cruelty against animals.
No.
Don't hurt the kitten. Do not hurt the kitten. All right, Russia. Let's make the choice.
The time is now.
Yeah, the final core should be done. They have to do a blind without knowing Team Romania's final hero either. They need to actually have a bit more of a strength hero, and they get a Bristleback. Of all heroes, I'm not as certain about this, and I kind of actually want Team Romania now to run a Mirana as their last one, and leave the Jakiro versus the Bristleback on the bottom lane. This is what I would prefer to see right now. Jakiro could get really zoned out, and if that happens, then the VS and ES will have to rotate down again. But the Bristleback's a really, really tanky hero, but he's going to get so locked in position, kited around, and controlled. That's my problem with the Bristleback pickup as the last one.
Well, where did they put him? Solo off lane?
Yeah. Solo off lane, Viper safe lane, Skywrath, Ogre roaming, and TA in the mid. They could potentially run the Skywrath and Ogre together with the Bristleback, but if it's a Jakiro and VS, and it's actually with the Invoker as our final one. So it's a Jakiro off lane, it's an Invoker in the mid, and it's a Death Prophet safe lane, or they can switch those two heroes around, depending on how they want to approach this. But that's a lot of negative armor coming into a Bristleback. This is why I'm not feeling the magic about this, because not only does the lock-in, which you can get with the slows, you're adding double negative armor with Forge Spirits plus the VS Wave of Terror. And that's going to really hurt both TA and Bristleback. The Forge Spirits are perfect up against Templar Assassin. Obviously, though, you need to get up to like level 9 on the Invoker before you have the double Forge Spirits. But once you got that, you're kind of good to go. And then Skywrath Mage as well. Forge Spirits as well as Sunstrike can kill him off. Just those abilities. If you get Invoker with a good start, if he gets that Hand of Midas nice and early, then you're also looking at a high-level Invoker with probably even Necro Books or a Blink Dagger 4-stuff, so you can do the initial damage, get Cold Snap with the Forge Spirits, and then just follow up with Deafening Blast
As soon as he buys that Ring of Protection, you know he's going safe lane.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't wait for the Jakiro to get Alacrity on him and just rack up that DPS. But they don't really have a hero which you can buff up. It's just going to be himself. So Invoker safe lane. It's actually Death Prophet heading towards the off lane at the moment. And Jakiro, God.
You called it.
I like it. I like it a lot. But the sad thing for him is the Viper is in the middle lane. And the Templar Assassin will move towards the top. But that's okay, because the Death Prophet's still going to farm up. And the Jakiro is a lot better in the middle lane up against the Viper because he can pick up bottles. And when he's able to run the bottle up against the Viper, then he's okay. On the off lane, it just takes too long to transit. And the bottom lane, they're going to try and run a dual melee here. And the dual melee aggro tri-lane while going up against an Earthshaker Fissure and an Invoker that can just push you back, that's dangerous.
It really is. But I'm not so sure the Death Prophet's going to have a good time here. At mid in the 1v1 against TA, it's a lot more acceptable to have the DP there because you can sit on top of the ramp and you're not going to get chased down by the TA. The distance between your tier 1 and the aggro zone is pretty short. But when you're here on the off lane, there is a massive walk back to your tier 1 tower and TA can chase you down.
Oh, between the movement speed of the two of them, 305 versus the 280. But if you have an Earthshaker and a VS rotating down, then the TA can overcommit. If she thinks the same thing you do, then
you can turn around really quickly on her.
Yeah. And then you find yourself with first blood. And okay, when you get a haste rune, you make the most out of it. So you just try and find the opening. Dire doesn't have any vision of this. In fact, right now, where is even a Dire observer? I don't see one.
There isn't one.
And he's down too far. The VS is going to run in, and because of the haste rune, the Fissure will block. Not the best chaining of stuns, but the Liquid Fire, they'll slow down Die, and that's the death of the Viper in the middle lane. First blood spilt out by Team Romania.
Invoker, though, on the bot lane. Ogre looking for something, hasn't skilled anything yet.
He can't do anything down here. Like, this is my problem with this aggro tri lane. You throw Ignite, you throw a Concussive Shot, or you throw an Orb. It's not enough damage to kill an Invoker who could just go directly into Quas.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering what build he goes for here. Does he go for the Exalt, which can give that Global Sunstrike and help out kills where you get the Earthshake official?
I actually want to see Quas Wex.
Yeah, I'm feeling that as well. See, the main build now is Exalt, sort of made popular by Dendy, and that's the one you go 80-90% of the time just because it seems the most powerful. But there's always defining factors that come up where you feel, okay, it's time to go Quas Wex. And I think Bristleback and heroes like that, strength carries or one-roll heroes that require mana, spamming their skills, really do indicate to you that you need to go for Wex.
Yeah.
But he's going for Exalt.
While the EMP Tornado, you can always just shift it up a little bit. There's no reason why you have to lock yourself into going Quas Wex from the very, very get-go. You just need to have lane presence. So you just shift it when you get into the mid-game. It's not as powerful, but you only need to burn a little bit of the mana away from the Skywrath Mage and you won't be able to do his ultimate combo. Or maybe even trigger his ultimate at all. And the Bristleback isn't really a high mana hero anyway. He's walking around right now with 234 mana pool. That's really poor when you're spamming out blades after blades. And now you see the lane rotation perfect up against Rekt. And with a Liquid Fire level 2, they're backing him up. It's going to come off cooldown in 1 second time, but he pushes him back and you're running a bottle on a safe lane hero. This is crippling. So Team Romania, they were very quick on that lane change too. And what's Team Russia really meant to do about it? They can't keep switching their heroes around as well.
No, because Team Romania made the first step. They got the first blood mid against the Viper, crippling him. Then they switched the lanes, putting the TA at a deficit. So it's difficult for Team Russia to actually stabilize and get equilibrium in these lanes. Then, like you said, this bot lane, can they find kills down here?
No. You've got Nerdshaker and a VS in the tree line. If you want to try and go on this, you're going to die. Surprisingly, VS actually goes for her Aura as her second ability here, as opposed to going for the Wave of Terror. Sunstrike's now also being skilled up. So I'm assuming that with the Liquid Fire Harassment on the Templar Assassin, he's looking for just the easy kill on there. That would be the lane to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, quite often with safe lane Invoker, we see like a 1-0-2 build before going for Invoke, just to get those stats up and get the orbs. But he's gone for Sunstrike first rather than Cold Snap. He'll probably go for Cold Snap now. Not invoking anything, just waiting. Ice Wall might be important.
For the moment, I think he's just trying to be a little bit more just focus on the lane. If they're going to gank, then you can think about it. He'll actually level up the Forest Spirit, and this gets into scouting over on the Ogre. And an Ogre who's got 7 armor, well, that's brilliant. That Forest Spirit will be looking to remove it with every single hit. And top lane Rekt is completely zoned out. 5-4 up against a 17-9 Jakiro, and that's a level 3 Liquid Fire now being pummeled into the tower. Russia has to move this tri-lane back. This is not working anymore. Sure, the Bristleback's finding farm, that's brilliant, and he's not getting levels, actually. It's really crippling because of that. You're not getting early Warpath. The Skywrath Mage is leeching, so much so is the Ogre Magi. They have a nice little speedy rune coming in for the Ogre. But beyond that, they've got nothing else, and Jakiro just keeps forcing the top lane.
Yeah, and you're going to be walking into Cold Snap, Ice Wall.
There you go. Bottom lane, the Fissure buys the extra space. Illusionist, he doesn't have an extra stun. The ice Wall does come down from Invoker, but they had no speed to get the kill. The Magic Missile stun not coming in time. VS just a little bit too far away at that point. Viper's up with this top lane now.
They've swapped it around.
Yeah. But by this point, the Jakiro is already walking around with a Ring of Regen, so the return damage from the level 2 Corrosive Skin isn't enough. And you got Death Prophet up at level 5 and running bottle here. So Templar Assassin just comes back to try and find some level of farm. But it's 1-1 at the moment, and your Jakiro is still insanely strong. And looking for an opening. The Fissure actually locking the Ogre Magi in. There's your Wave of Terror going to work. Tries to cut through the tree lines. The Quill Spray slowing down the Invoker's move up for the moment, with also Illusionist getting ignited up, so he's slowed up too. Where's that Magic Missile? Not enough mana, short by 10. The Orb would kill off the Illusionist, and they have to back up. The Quill Sprays were starting to stack up a little bit. And that's another kill coming in for Russia, so maybe this tri-lane, through persistence, it will work. But now the Viper gets nothing on the top lane. And I think he's pinging out to the Invoker, saying with a level 2 Sunstrike, if he gets one more Liquid Fire on the Viper, he could get the kill. And that's why Viper has to fly a salve out to himself.
Yeah, it's persistence from this aggressive tri lane, but also a slight mismove there from Team Romania. They went for the Ogre, the tankiest hero on that tri lane pretty much.
Yeah. They might have thought they had a chance at it with the Forge Spears taking away some of his armor. But it's one armor per hit. You know, with the double Force Burst, then you can try and catch him by surprise a little bit more. Okay, they're going to try and go for this kill on top. The Liquid Fire again, just ticking down die. He's only got a Headdress for a regeneration. Illusionist just needs to get the Fissure, the follow-up Magic Missile, and then the Sunstrike will hit perfectly. And this Viper will not survive that combo.
Has he seen him?
Yeah, the vision's there. Has Die seen him? Now they do. With Skywrath Mage walking around the corner. It's very visible, but the Liquid Fire takes out the Tier 1 tower. So Russia losing their Tier 1 tower, they give over some extra cash. And they've also lost their front position, which is their defense position now. They have to back themselves up. But Illusionist wants to keep going. Die is just sitting on this top lane. Zizou's walking in close. Where's your Fissure? There it goes. Magic Missile. He's waiting for it. The Sunstrike. Is it on target? It is, actually. Die will die on this top lane. Zizou dying rather quickly as well. The Orb attack will be enough to kill him off. That was the Skywrath Mage with a level 1 Orb. They got to pick up the experience from the kill. But it's a VS for a Viper. Like, you're restricting the Viper from going into his next item, and that's the bigger thing. You're delaying the mech.
Yeah, also the Skywrath going up top lane, leaving the Invoker down here. He shouldn't be in too much trouble. They're going to dive a little bit. There's the stun.
Alright. The Ice Wall comes down. They can't chase any further.
Expending a lot of mana there, and like you said earlier, he just goes into Quast, starts regening up. He's got a Magic Stick, he's got Salve. So any more aggression like that, it's just going to be a waste of mana for them.
Yep. Especially when they're about to lose that Tier 1 tower in the middle lane. The bottom lane, they're going to have another crack again. There's no support to come in from the VS, and no, they've actually got the Invoker this time around. Into the tree line, summons the Force Spirit. I think he might have been hoping to go for a block, but not going to happen. Templar Assassin, Bounty Rune to be stolen.
Unless he sits too far forward with no mana to cast anything.
Yeah, that'll also do the job. The mid-Tier 1 tower is forfeit, though. This is a level 4 Liquid Fire on the Jakiro. Fortification is available for them, and they will have to use it now as support comes in from, Skywrath. Zizou has himself a haste rune, and he's like, all right, boys, let's go. Magic Missile, can't do it. He gets sealed up instead. Now he can throw the Magic Missile, and then Sunstrike, perfect target with the Liquid Fire. Jakiro will take it, and the Tier 1 tower will follow up in the middle lane as Team Romania claim their second tower on the map, and Liquid Fire will push into the Tier 2 tower in the mid.
Yeah, Zizou running around. Guys, I found one, but it's TA. We can't really go for her. Oh, look, Skywrath gave away his position. Let's chase him down.
That's an easy way to do it, man. 3 Liquid Fires into that mid-tier Tier 2 tower, and the life points drop
500.
by 500 with 3 Liquid Fires. And the next tower will be the bottom. The next tower will be the bottom. The Invoker, I don't know if he'll actually be really happy with this, because I think he's enjoying throttling his lane at the moment. But they need to keep the pressure on. They can't just take a couple of Tier 1 towers and then just back up.
And look how twitchy this Viper is up on top lane. Constantly sitting near the line of the fog, sort of getting back and forth from it, trying to get last hits, but always aware that the rotation from the Venge and ES could always happen. And now
this is not where he wants to be. If he moves any further, he's dead. He moved up. He had to move north or east, and he would have died. And now TP. Oh, wait. Synergy. He's actually back to base. Does he regenerate fast enough? He's burning too fast.
So close.
He was ignited as well as Viper striked, and the dot was more than enough to finish the job and battle up against the regeneration. It's a shame he couldn't just buy a bottle and start regenerating straight away. Anything he had. He just needed a little bit more. But the Jakiro will go down. Close, though. And that was the smoke rotation from Russia to get that kill.
You've got to have like superhuman reactions though to drop 2 or 3 of your items and buy 3 rings of regen just to try and regen that HP faster. It's what we see quite a lot from certain offlane players. They'll loop into the side shop if they've got time, buy a ring of regen or ring of health.
Bottom lane, Exorcism's going to be committed. I don't know if this is really worth it. The Sunstrike, too short. Too short. That's only a level 3 Sunstrike as well. That's not enough to kill off the Bristleback. And Zizou's now standing next to that Observer Ward in the top lane. Don't go north, don't go east. He hung around. One stun, and then the poison attack is going to be more than enough to slow up this Vengeful Spirit. So he'll die up on the top lane, while the Bristleback hiding in the trees where it is safe. Trying to protect himself as this tier 1 tower getting pushed out by the Exorcism now. Comes to show himself. Illusionist still has Fissure. He's waiting for the extra TP heroes to come in, and the Fissure will catch out both the VS and the Skywrath Mage. However, he will be stunned up, slowed up. The Ice Path now separates between Team Russia, but affects none of the heroes. They did TP in a lot of heroes to try and kill off that Earthshaker though, and not claiming any of the cores. But they do hold their tier 1 tower. But really, for how long?
This is looking pretty rough for Team Romania. This Bristleback is getting damn strong. They need to get this Invoker with some levels. It looks like he's still going to go for that Midas, but 100 off the recipe. Then he still needs the Gloves of Haste to finish that off.
Very problematic for the Invoker. All right, if they just give him space, then they're still going to be okay. Because like for all Russia's power, which they're pulling in right now, which is definitely quite good, they still have to be careful about getting kited out and then having that Invoker find some levels, and then they'll zone him out too. Ice Path into the Ogre Magi. There is the dual breath being triggered out. Ogre will actually tick out from this. There's no way, or maybe there is. It was stick charges. He's burning, but he's not going to die the back end of play. In the meantime, the VS going to take his fall. Bristleback a little bit too close, but keeps his back turned. Now they want to come back in to Team Romania. The Liquid Fire will burn out most of the refraction charges, as there will be that TP back in time from the Death Prophet. But they're on the chase, Team Russia, after Illusionist. Mel Strike will hit pretty hard too, and that's going to be the death of the Earthshaker. And now I'm actually with you. I'm with you saying Team Russia, they're actually strong enough to fight against most of what Team Romania has to throw at them. And Team Romania aren't getting the kiting. They're not getting the control in the lane at all.
Yeah, they're hitting these key levels. Like the TA got enough room to get up to level 9, so you've got 4 in refraction and 3 in meld. That minus armor is massive against these really squishy heroes. When you look at Team Romania, Venge, DP, Invoker don't have a massive HP pool. Then you've got the Viper, who's hit level 10 now. The mech in that team fight was pretty big. Holding onto the HP for the Skywrath and Ogre to just keep on going. Arcane Boots on the Ogre, keeping the Skywrath, spamming the Arcane Bolt, and that Bristleback on the front line just spamming spells over and over, and he's nearly got Crimson Guard completed. Just needs the Buckler.
I still can't believe Team Romania decided to try and fight that without Exorcism. Because without that up, they just don't have physical DPS right now. It's kind of the reason why the Invoker had to go the 4 points up in the Exort, so he'd actually have potential for that.
Yeah, they don't have levels on the Death Prophet for Silence, which is great against Bristleback and Viper and TA. Just silence them up so they can't get their spells off, and that weakens them massively.
Things will change around a little bit more once Chikura is able to pick up that Yule Scepter, because then Team Romania will have a way where they can initiate and hold and give themselves the advantage. They also need to get more levels on this Chikiro, because he went 3 points up in the dual breath with a 1 point up in the Ice Path, which means his control is a little bit better for movement, but everything else isn't there, and Macropie's not existing. They're trying to go on Templar Assassin, but it's a trap. You got the Skywrath Mage and the Ogre just waiting with open arms. And the Dire Observer Ward up on the high ground scattered out all of what Team Romania are planning, and that's why Sentry Wars to drop, they get rid of the TA trap.
That Observer Ward is just out of range.
Yeah, they don't actually see it on the high ground. And there's only dust, however, for the Ogre Magi, so they can't get rid of it.
No, I mean, it's happened again, Toby. It's out of range of the Sentry just.
What?
I hover right over it.
Really?
Put your view, like, put the ward at the bottom of your screen.
Man, I could just try and do...
You've got the Sentry selected.
Yeah, I know, because I can't see the range of it if I don't do that. But I can't zoom out any further. But yeah, if I do that, then yes, it cuts the line. Damn, Valve, give us free camera back again. I think it kept breaking Dota TV though, which is why they turned it off. And we just have perspective mode. Death Prophet moves up. No Yule Scepter still, so she can't initiate, but we'll see the TA and the Skywrath Mage. They're not the ones with the dust. In fact, the one with the dust is not TPing towards the top lane, he's still in middle lane. It's the Ogre Magi. Tries to zone out the Vengeful Spirit. And now they do flag the fact that he is here. They can't get a kill on him. In fact, all they really want to do, Team Russia, is take out this Tier 1 tower in the top lane. And there's no reason why they can't succeed.
Following Invoker around the map, don't give him an inch.
They go for a trade-off here. Team Romania don't want to fight. They got Exorcism, but it's like they still want that extra point up in Witchcraft before they try and use it. And okay, maybe, well, throw that one out the window. Liquid Fire onto the Tier 2 tower. And be fortification from Team Romania to try and protect them and buy them a little bit more time, because it's going to come back off cooldown anyway once that Tier 1 tower dies. And the mid Tier 2 tower, Liquid Fire, is still burning it out. Exorcism's got 1/3 of its time left again. Another Liquid Fire going in towards the tower with the Wave of Terror dropping the armor of the Skywrath Mage. An early start on Jakiro, sealing him up. The Fissure, try and block that pass so no one else can walk through. And they're going to try and back up at the same time. Bristleback, where's that TP? Is out in time. But the mid Tier 2 tower is just outside of deny range. So maybe not the greatest trade in the world, but it's just an investment they'll knock over later.
And now Team Russia come rampaging down the mid lane towards the Tier 1. Another problem with giving the Invoker so much space and needing Death Prophet to get some experience and gold is that Earthshaker, this is meant to be his time, 16 to 25 minutes when he's meant to be farming Blink Dagger. And he's just not going to get there.
Unless he starts selling things. There goes your Tier 1 tower in mid lane. And Zizu has to back up. Bristleback very quickly TPs down towards that bottom lane. It's simple, like going through the motions. Templar Assassin also grabbing herself a DD means a very easy and quick Roshan. And they're not ready to fight. Death Prophet doesn't have Yule Scepter. Jakiro really okay, he's got his Yule Scepter up and running, so that's nice. But there's just no real follow-up directly after that because Illusionist can't get himself in range. The VS is an okay level, but can't survive for long. And the Invoker wants to wait until he has the Necro book up and running before they go for anything else. And now there's your Aegis the Immortal into a Templar Assassin, who is only a recipe away from a full BKB.
They aren't that far behind in net worth, though. Each core on the Radiant side is only about 1,000 gold behind the core on the opponent's side. And then the supports together...
Senji, too over-aggressive. TP's out straight away.
No stuns. Very nice.
The downside about Russia, no stuns. Which means you don't have to get BKBs. They really need, this really would have been a lot better game for Invoker to have Coswax. And I'm not saying because, because I know we've been talking about the fact they're missing a lot of damage during the fights, but it just stops Russia from fighting in the first place.
It's disruption. It's great at defending towers. You tornado EMP, you get rid of all that mana. It's good against TA because you burn the mana that she needs to keep refraction going. Like, you need to be using that spell every time it comes off cooldown, and the mana burn goes through it.
Yeah. And just be happy with your 4/4, which you got Course and Exalt now. Gives you your double Forge Spirits. So that's more than good enough.
Yeah, and he's nearly got 4 staff, which is pretty good for him. Get away from that Bristleback if he starts charging at him.
A little Ignite coming out from the Ogre Magi. VS swapping him down. Good Fissure with the 4 Spirits there. Ogre Magi is probably going to die. Sunstrike, really nice. Perfect position. They'll TP out as well. The Orb's coming out for the Invoker. He doesn't have that point up and wakes and walks into the Mystic Flare. So a very good trade-off. Okay, they have no stuns. They have damage though. Not enough to get the kill, however.
Invoker got his 4 staff delivered as he died.
Viper? Who would really win in the battle of these flying cretins? The Jakiro or the Viper? The Viper's actually got higher levels and mech. I'm actually going to bank on the Viper winning that head-to-head matchup.
Well, with the rest of the team arriving, I think Jakiro could take this. But in 1v1, yeah, I think the Viper.
Well, they can still see him. There's more support rotating over, and that's the Ogre. And maybe they can get, okay, no, they're just Yule Scepter, Ice Path. Where's the stun from Ogre Magi? It'll come in, but it goes on the Death Prophet, who already got a royalty off, which means they get the kill on this Viper.
That's a crap load of commitment, though. Exorcism on top of all that. They can't really push towards the Tier 2 fast enough.
I think they realize at this point just getting any kind of kill is worth it.
Yeah.
Because they're just so far behind. That one kill gained them about 1,800 experience and a swing of just over 1,000 gold.
Well, it also pushed their 3 cores above the Viper, so now they're getting back up there, getting their names up on the board.
Yep. And Invoker's able to do it. He's farming up jungle at the moment with the Forge Spirits, which gives the Earthshaker space to farm up on the bottom lane. Yeah, they are literally creating space. And it's not that far behind. When you look at the experience and the gold, sure, they were 5,000 behind, but
that's what I was saying. The cores were only 1,000 each behind the enemy cores, and the supports were pretty much even. There was 1,000 in it, so overall there was about 4,000 difference between the two teams. It just looks like Russia are in such a commanding lead because of that level disparity, where they've got their cores, their key levels, and they're taking team fights where...
This is big. This is big if they can pick him off. The Sunstride's coming in. The Crimson Guard won't protect you enough. And now the Bristleback goes down. Multicast from the Ogre Magi, but it wasn't on the stuns. It was over on the Ignite. Now the Ice Path catching TA plus the Ogre Magi will burn through the defensive refraction charges, but they move quickly and away. The drum charges will trigger and then Fissure. So the drum charges down to 4 of them. They steal over on the Jakiro. There's a Mystic Flare available, but they're not really in range for it. And the Viper diving well under the tower. The Magic Missile will stop him. Zizu just wants to TP out in time. Not quick enough. The support hero will still go down, but on bottom lane, you got Invoker just doing his own little thing. And he's also got Sunstrike available, which you'd love just to pop onto the Viper if someone else can do a little bit more chip damage on him.
That level difference that Russia did have the advantage in only means something if you go in as a team, because their lineup is built around diving towers, finding pickoffs, having Bristleback getting in there while they're being slowed by the Viper, and TA sort of looping in from the side.
I like that from the Invoker. He forced off the Bristleback so he couldn't get the denial. They pushed him back past the tower so his Force Spirits as well as the hero could do the rest. And now with a Blink Dagger over on the Jakiro, the Observer Ward gives him perfect vision. And they get the Ice Path to start with over on the Viper. Fissure as well, and this keeps Skywrath away. And the tick count is already happening on the Viper. The Observer Wards now sees also the Ogre Magi coming in. Multicast on the stun, Jakiro. Eulset will protect him. BKB down for the Templar Assassin, but that won't stop the physical damage here of the Death Prophet, who comes in close on the Viper. Another Eulset with the Sunstrike perfectly on target. The Costnap made sure he stayed there as well. The Forest Spirits are taking away a lot of the arm here of the Skywrath Mage, and then the Invoker just tries to TP himself out successfully as well. Maybe a little bit too early on that, because now 3 euros lost for his team. There's no way to get a rebuttal. VS will try and TP out the corner, but the easy stun from the Ogre Magi, and the Russians will take 4 heroes as far as the kills go.
I'm interested to see what the Invoker builds here. 2,700 gold. Usually on Exort we see Midas, Force Staff, then Boots of Travel, as I say it, and then Necro. But Boots of Travel is an expensive item for what it gives you in this kind of game. But from what we've seen from him, he's pushing lanes, he's getting towers, he's trying to, claw his way back up and get into the lead so he can actually make something happen. And he needs experience. He needs that solo experience. Get up to level 13, 14, get some levels in WEC so he can start getting into Tornado, Meteor, Deafening Blast, because right now he is maxed out Exort bar 1 level.
Yeah. That's just, it almost feels too greedy for what he wants to try and do, but at the same time, you can't blame him for doing it because he wants the damage output.
I think 1 point in Wex is what he really needs. Deafening Blast is a massive skill up against Bristleback, Viper, and TA. They rely so heavily.
Death Prophet, real trouble. Seal is there. She doesn't want to Eul Scepter herself, but may have no other choice. The VS swaps him back down again. Then the Fissure catching out 2 heroes. Crypt Swarm try and drop the Bristleback down low. Crimson Guard has been triggered, but then Eul Scepter from the Jakiro with the Macro Pyre, with also the Door Brat. The damage on the Bristleback, he's ticking so heavily. It's a negative earn charge on him too. It's a 1-for-1 trade-off, about to be 1-for-2. The Earthshaker held the Fissure. He didn't throw it off.
Yeah, his first placement wasn't going to be enough. There was Venge here and TA right behind him, and he was going to send it over this way. But with a BKB on TA, he would have had to cancel and then send it between them, but he didn't have enough time.
I wonder if Russia, they can't go high ground. If they attempt to go high ground, it could really bite them in the ass, especially when Invoker is still pushing out that top lane. So they do the next best thing. They come down to the bottom lane and will push into the tier 2 tower. And Invoker has to push really quickly to make this worth it. Summons the fresh Forge Spirits, and he wants at least the damage trade-off. It's going to take a lot more than what he's got, though.
He's got 1 in Wex now.
Yeah. He's prepping for the attack. That's why the Ice Wall's already been invoked up in case he gets chased. But a forced after TP out. The tower drops down by, well, 1/4 of its life points. So that's not that much to write home about.
Where does Team Russia find a stun? There's no one that really builds Hex.
Aghanims on Ogre.
Aghanims on Ogre. Add another stun. Okay.
Give him more space too. He needs to find the levels. Actually, give him that middle lane for a while now, so he can get closer towards the level 16, at least level 11, to get the second level up there in the multicast. This Skywrath made, he's got more levels than him right now.
He's been finding some really nice Mystic Flares. Who's up on top lane?
So I'm also surprised too that Team Romania took so long to either, one, get the swap, which I can understand because it's only a level 1 right now. But if he Eul Scepted up in the middle of the Mystic Flare, they could have actually just turned on the mark. Then again, you can't turn straight away because Earthshaker has no way to get himself in position for the Echo Slam, which is 1, level 1, and 2, no Blink Dagger or 4.
He's about 800 gold away from that now. Once that Blink Dagger comes up, they can start defending their base really heavily. Maybe even these tier 2s if they're still standing.
Maybe. Invoker trying to force out to the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. Doesn't have Force Spirits, another 13 seconds, and the tier 2 tower in the top lane, Russia has already arrived. So they will be a lot more faster and efficient than Team Romania as far as bringing down these buildings. Now they'll take the tier 2 tower, probably just TP themselves back out again, because Roshan potential spawn time is already here. So there's no reason for them to risk anything. In fact, there's already your first TP coming. Tier 2 tower is gone. It's a lot of damage. That fortification can protect it. The ice wall being triggered up as well, so Bristleback being slowed right now. And, well, there's the call coming out from Ogre. You just be from the tier 2 tower, huh? And they'll deny the bottom tier 2. So they at least remove the extra money, but they are losing their own map control. Both these teams still only hold on to one tier 2 tower on the map.
This Invoker has done a really great job, but it's not just him, it's the rest of his team.
Hello.
What's been found here?
It's Ogre Vijay. He'll get a multicast only twice, though. So it's not as powerful as he could pray to get. But now he's only 900 gold away from having his Ags.
Team Romania have done a really great job at controlling the lanes. They're allowing towers to fall when they know they can't defend them and making the most of it on the opposite side of the map. So Invoker has been farming the jungle really efficiently with Force Spirits, which is why they're on cooldown when he's pushing bot, and then pushing up to the tier 2. While other teammates, like the Earthshaker, farming mid, 200 gold away from Blink. He really is getting close to this mark.
And this gem is finally going to be revealing out the fact that Observer War was watching him on the bottom lane. But this is now also a bit more of a risky kind of thing for a Skywrath mage. He's trying to dodge just in case there's an Observer Ward up there, and he goes for a bit of a guess on the Sunstrike. But that's not what they want. Like, this Blink Dagger from a Jakiro, he has to use it to get away from the Bristleback. And the Invoker just lets down the Ice Wall, so there's no follow-up from here either. But Templar Assassin, well, using illusions to actually tank, but doing it solo.
Yeah. Meld and Desolator with the refraction damage. That illusion rune really did help out. Roshan getting nowhere near.
Which means solo experience level 16, you can crack that 17 straight away and have the protection of the Aegis, the Immortal. And this will be really effective during the fights. That's just so much damage twice over available for Russia continuously through the fights as well. And how many seconds you left? It's 8 seconds on the BKB. It's not too bad. But this Blink Dagger is finally over on the ES, which means they can finally find themselves some kills and make Russia really fearful of pushing high ground. Does Bristleback get overconfident here? If he comes down to farm this wave, he's dead.
Oh,
and the answer is, he's dead. Yule Scepter up, Macropie, Ice Path, the Blink down, Fissure with the totem being committed, and the Bristleback will burn.
That's the second time he's done that now. He did it mid a good 7 or 8 minutes ago when he was standing here, just overestimating the amount of strength he's got. You know, he's there, he's Bristleback, he's got Crimson Guard and Blade Mail, but he can't turn his back when he's stunned out completely.
And that means easy death for him. Jakiro is actually building into a Scythe of Ice now, and they're coming to add pressure towards this tier 2 tower. Either to force TPs to come back, and that's what Zizi was waiting for, this Viper farming on the bottom lane. He now gets to get the experience and gold for the bot lane. The tier 3 tower in the mid lane is taking a little bit of chip damage, but it's worth it for the liquid fire damage they're getting into the tier 2 tower in the top lane. Death Prophet will come back. One more liquid fire with the Force Spirits, and this tower's actually gone. They'll attempt the denial here. We'll see if the Force Spirits actually mess up their timing. Nope, the Viper will still get the denial on the tower. But that's the last remaining outer tower, now down for Russia. While Team Romania still hold their tier 2 tower in the bottom lane, and they've got level 3 Necro units over on the Invoker, a Blink Daggering Earthshaker with Echo Slam at level 2, and you got Ice Path, Macropires, you've got Death Prophet with a full heart and Yule Scepter, and a level 3 Exorcism.
Earthshaker, where are you going?
He's going home. He's going home.
That was so close, though. Like, he made this route here as TA was coming up and as Bristleback was coming this way, converging on his location. He just managed to sneak through.
It's the confidence of having that Blink Dagger on him. Yeah, but for now, Russia, I'm worried that they waited too long. This advantage is not growing for them. And in my mind right now, Team Romania actually have the better team fight. If they can get, like, just one isolated hero at the start, then they're good to go. Because there is still no mass amounts of stuns coming out. There's no, like, Abyssal Blade on the Bristleback, and they're going to go on him. He triggered the BKB. And he just, Illusionist just TP's out. It's like,
ya.
what are you going to do? Like, that's your 10-second BKB being burned. A lot of heroes from Russia also, I don't know if they TP down or not, but either way, Russia brought their entire team to the bottom lane.
Yeah.
They could take the tier 2 tower, but the rest of Team Romania just back up, continue to farm. And they'll fight Russia 5-on-5 when they fight from their tier 3 tower. Which means then buybacks will be available as well, or potentially. At this point, no one has any.
Yeah, and they've been getting exactly what they needed. Death Prophet got levels. She was so far behind, she didn't even have a level in silence.
So look at him come and force the issue. Dual Breath the creep wave in the mid.
Yeah.
Get the Liquid Fire into the tier 3 towers. And the first damage which is dealt to tier 3 towers is actually done by Team Romania.
There was some done at mid by the TA, but not too much.
That's true. Just a little bit chip. Okay, now that I wasn't expecting. A level 3 Exorcism committal, they're trying to pull them back from the tier 2 tower really quickly. The fortification used by Russia, and they're picking out going, yo guys, like, this Death Prophet's used Exorcism. The Blade Mail comes up from the Bristleback, then with the Mystic Flare, very minimal attack. The Eul Scepter was used, and then a blink up from Jakiro. He'll TP out inside the base, and he can just move himself away from the Ogre. A 4-star from the Invoker, he'll go Invis. The Dust will trigger here, and he's ticking out. The Necro units will trigger as the last thing he can do to help out his teammates, because the Ogre Magi is dying right now to Force Spirits and Necro units.
TA on bot
They
lane,
actually
though.
get the kill, and maybe, well, Templar Assassin, you're right. She'll trigger out. Do they have enough? Ice Path, 1 second. Macropire first. Illusionist goes for the first stun. Mistiming it. The BKB comes up in time for the Templar Assassin. Large amounts of damage in to that Earthshaker. The Demon Edge, the Eul Scepter up now. Ice Path, Liquid Fire, VS follow-up stun. Look for the silence as well. They've already triggered the dust. There's no hiding here. They'll pick off the kill, and a big one too for the Jakiro to take. The Eul Scepter up in the air. Now the VS tries to swap him back, buying the time while he's sealed up. And Zizu, he'll take the life here. Yeah, sacrifice for the greater good. I run east. Follow me until the ends of the earth. Or at least until you waste a little bit more time. While the tier 3 tower's now taking damage on the top lane. But more importantly, Jakiro survives, and they keep the hopes alive of that Scythe of Ice.
This is where I would love to see Invoker with a couple more levels in Wex. When he's standing in this position and realizes, oh crap, I've got to back off, uses Ice Wall here, tries to run up, Dust is used by the Ogre, has to pop Necro units and send them into the middle of the fight.
Viper, he's got no teammates. The Bristleback's coming in right now, but Viper is literally alone. And he's got a lot of life points there with the 6 charges as well as the mech, bringing Jakiro actually very, very low there.
But yeah, you had Team Russia pretty much lined up, all here. If you had a tornado in this direction, then Meteor, Deafening Blast, you do a massive amount of damage, but at the very least, you save yourself from dying, and then you can escape up the ramp and not get dusted.
You will need more points, though, in the Wex, because the tornado really got nerfed in recent patches. So that's one of the primary reasons why the Wex build isn't really used much by the Invoker anymore. That EMP tornado combo just isn't as great anymore. Because the vision was removed, and I think the range was also reduced. No, not removed. Restricted. Alright, so for now, I'm still waiting for the Earthshaker to finish up a 4-star on him. Wow, this Jakiro, 3,000 gold.
Not far off the hex.
Yep, not far at all. The 4-star's over on the Invoker, and he's got another 2.8k gold, and it'll probably be a double Scythe of Ice. And whoa, 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 whoa! Whoops! That was his own 4-staff. That was not an enemy 4-staff, that was his own 4-staff. Trying to get up there, and yeah.
He doesn't look happy. Like, I just looked over to him, he doesn't look happy. Turns to his teammate and goes, yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm trying to follow the inspiration of Newbie in game number 1 of today. Well, that was, yeah, free gold. Templar Assassin. A little bit of trouble for him in the middle lane. Wants to try and fight into the Jakiro and then realizes not as much trouble. But the Exorcism, they lock him in. The BKB will go, but the physical DPS, the BKB doesn't protect you from that. So the Invoker may die. And is he hunting couriers? He's hunting couriers. And now Bristleback, well, he finds Death Prophet. The Exorcism is the end of it. He does pop the Blade Melt and the BKB. They have to back up. They have to back up right now. The Bristleback goes down to half of his life points. The Mystic Flare will drop. Death Prophet does not have her Eul Scepter. Illusionist, he has Echo Slam right now on the heal. It does come in time. She stays alive. They turn it around right now. It's a double kill. And the savior from the VS.
The vent swap there, but the timing on the heal from Death Prophet.
Look at them come. They go straight for the mid lane. BT's in. Necro level 3 are up. They're coming for racks.
And why not? You force buybacks at the very least.
Oh, they go in. The blink, eSF to Ice Path, double buybacks coming out from Bristol, and then the fissure locks him in, holds him in position,
BKB.
and now he's actually being, he's being burned up. There's no BKB to protect him. They're actually going to get a dieback right now on the Bristol pack. They follow it in. The fissure, 3 seconds, BKB. It's going to wear off in a moment. Death Prophet, low on life. Illusionist fissure buys the space. 57 life points. No core stacks die. It's going to actually tick out to the pure damage of the earn charge. They got another one. eSF the rub. Ice Path still on cooldown, but they'll dual breath him, and they use the ice wall, then the ice path. It's a frosty affair right now, swapping in the Ogre Magi. The stunned Invoker, he's almost dead. Is it enough? He's healing. The orb, it's enough damage. He will go down finally, but he could. He actually can't buy back. It's still on cooldown for the moment.
He buys back.
He does. You're right. He does. What am I talking about? Up towards the high ground. They got the Cold Snap over from the Sky Wrath Mage. One more attack, and they do bring him down. Ogre is the only one. Oh, no. Close on the way back in, but they bring down the mid-racks now. The fortification will be used again by Team Russia, but they can't stop the push. The Exorcism is also off cooldown, 18 seconds time. You're the Viper and the Bristol pack up by that point, but there's no reason why they can't rotate up towards the top racks. The Exorcism will allow them to fight again, and the mana pools are still quite good for the team. Necros is up in 10 seconds time. They're going to take probably top racks as well. Multicast harassment out from the Ogre Magi. He needs the rest of his team. There goes your Exorcism.
He's got Necrobook ready as well.
Yep, they pop up right now. They've got to focus down on that Bristol pack. The stuns, there's no multicast coming out at the moment. He used both of his blasts, and that racks the Necro units. Focus units. There we go. The melee racks will go down. So they get a raxing and a half in favor of Team Romania and Russia.
All of a sudden, Team Romania bringing out the plays, but Russia throwing away such a massive lead with those buybacks.
Ooh.
But I've got to say, that Bristleback TPing in, running into this area here, the Fissure was perfect. He had nowhere to run.
Yep.
The Ice Wall, exactly perfect, perfectly placed there as well. Cold Snap locking him in place, but the BKB on cooldown for such a long time. He was still on cooldown for like 20 seconds after he brought back.
So long dead. So long dead. A gem now being purchased up by the VS. They're going to try and restrict Russia completely inside their base, remove all the wards, and then slowly push out the bottom lane. If things get a little bit too rough on the side lanes, you just send the Invoker, BTM up, and give them momentum again. Even if it's just letting off the Force Spirits, that's all they really need. Keep Russia inside their base. Roshan's up. The TA trap is seeing this, however. But once the gem heroes move over, or blink over, maybe, okay, Illusionist, force staff, TP up, the BKB again being triggered by the TA. He'll come back in a fight, but the BKB's already worn off. eSF will evade the attack with the Desolator. Can he get down? They need a force staff, something away. Now Russia, they have the opportunity. At the same time, the range racks will come under pressure in just a moment. They have to fall back. The Templar Assassin can attempt to go for a solo Roshan here, but it's going to cost him. Dire's already desperately trying to defend against this wave, which means they do not have the Viper there. And Zizou, a wave of terror will reveal what's going on, but they've already got the kill. Roshan goes away, Cheese is down, picked up by the Bristleback, 4-staff away. The Mystic Flare, he actually still has it on cooldown, not enough mana to use it. Shiva's got also trying to buy a little bit more space. The TP, well, he could use it, but the damage output's going to kill him before he's capable of finishing job. And there's a fresh gem on the deck, hearing a Sunstrike, looking for the kill over from the Sky Wrath Mage. But he will survive to fight another day.
So difficult to find to the Roche Pit, though. The Invoker, again, if you had a couple levels up in Wex, go for the Tornado at the very least to see how far through they are. But I don't think they ever go in without Exorcism.
The 2 points make the Tornado too short for him right now.
But without the Exorcism, which was on cooldown for another 10 seconds, I don't think they ever go back in.
Yeah. I'm wondering at this point, too, if Templar Assassin just tries to go for Monkey King Bar, or if she just feels damage output and getting an instant kill with a Rapier is a better idea. The BKB charge is just way too low right now. Getting kills quickly is the only way they're going to win on this game.
It's a difficult choice, isn't it? Because Butterfly doesn't do too much for you this game. Manta Star is just going to get nuked down. Sorry, there is just this easy walk down the bottom. If maybe they could. Oh, yeah. Look at the pings coming. It's like, yo, guys, everyone's missing. They're not pushing at the lanes. Viper is the only one showing himself. And the observable on the bottom lane, she doesn't scout out anyone being down here. But just the fact that no one is defending means you cannot be out without support. So the gank will fail. But yeah, back to what you're saying, Doka. I can't remember what I was saying.
That's bad for us.
I'm sorry.
It's been a long day, man. Death Prophet looking towards that top lane. So range racks, it's just so low. Small chips is all they really require to get the kill on it. Well, it'll take a little bit of time to do at least. Just nothing but TP scrolls lying inside the pit of Roshan. At least now we're seeing a Meteorite combination. And with the Alacrity buff up as well, we're finally seeing that increase of damage. A full Daedalus is actually what the Templar Assassin buys. So, still same effect. 964 is going to be the crits. I don't know if that's going to be enough damage to get the kill, however. And especially when you have a double damage to Kuro. it's going to wear off in a moment. He'll go back to his normal. But it's a side device, which is where the primary problem comes in.
Yeah, and Invoker's not far from his scythe. Only about 400 gold.
Yep. And once you got this, you're able to control up like the Bristleback or the Templar Assassin.
Well, both
BKBs or not. They'll look for an opening. Okay, that's almost too good to resist. The solo Bristleback, which will force the TPs to return, and they'll see the Viper as well as the Templar Assassin in the middle lane, and that's just to go for home. Like, the fortification is still available right now from Team Romania. A simple liquid fire into that top range racks, and he's got it. Like, they're not going to fortify to save their range racks. And the bottom lane's being pushed out by the Invoker. They come in, and they find, in fact, the Death Prophet. You'll set her up in towards the air. You got more support coming in with the Ice Path onto the Templar Assassin. Mystic Flare's going to be wasted. The X system will also be triggered. Still no fortification being used by Team Romania, but they have the Templar Assassin completely isolated. The VS swapping the Viper back up again, and then trying to force staff away. The Ice Path, the BKB comes up from Templar Assassin. Remember, only 5 seconds in that one. Macropie will burn through most of the creep wave. The Fissure Illusions, he needs his ulti off. He can't get it in time. Where's your buybacks can be coming out right now? They're not here yet. They move through deeper.
No
Russia, they're going for the GG push. They're looking at the tier 4 towers. Without these buybacks, they're in so much trouble. The Death Prophet's the only one with it, and she has to get towards the front lines. Had they gone for the racks yet? The tier 4 towers down to half-life. Russia, they will just go for the throne if they possibly can. Fortification used. The Shiva's Guard. Ogmajai protects himself with that Ghost Scepter. The Krob still spamming out. Silencers trying to slow down this Warpath rack up. They're too low on life, but the spawns are just not back again yet. Invoker can't buy back for 17 more seconds on the board. Death Prophet stays on the front lines. Multicast. Finally, they bring him down. The buyback will still come. Invoker, 8 seconds away. You've got the tier 4 tower now down. They go for home. Can they bring down the fortress? They're fighting hard. Invoker, 1 second, 0 seconds. Welcome back to the world of living. Earthshaker's up as well. 4 staffs up. Fissure stumps up the Viper. Do they have enough? There goes the Ogmajai. The burn through. The VS swats back down again. The Russians are falling like flies. Skywrath Mage goes down. Can they stop the Bristleback? The fortress, 530. They've got him. They bring them all down. The Russians, they're TPing back in again. Viper, you might be really regretting that. Everyone's buying back. They force stuff up. The Fissure will catch him. Can they get close enough? Force stuff up, cold stuff. Double force stuffs into the cold snap. They got him. The Viper being slowed down, but the BTs are coming back. The Russians are not done yet. The Necro units are still there. That top lane will actually start taking out tier 4 towers by itself. This is the problem of Russia. It is go for home right now. No fortification. 600 life points to get through. It's regenning quickly. They're coming for home, Durka.
But can they get there?
The question, the answer, the Fissure. One way to hold them out. The tier 4 towers are still being chipped away. The new creep wave is spawning up in 12 seconds time. They will try and hold him. Bristle, he's moving in. The BKBs, do they have enough? They don't have fortification. 200, 120. GG! Russia will take game number 2. They don't take a single racks, but they will man mode it down the mid. The full buybacks from their team. And Team Romania, it looked like they had in the bag. They took 2 full sets of raxes. But it was not enough, and this just proves to you, Rax is a great way of winning games, but if you do not take out the fortress, you do not take the victory. Let's have a break, Durka. We'll be back. Game number 3, your final deciding matchup, and our last game of the day will be up in just a moment.